Nigga, welcome back. And it's like that. Fuck you, somebody. We on another episode of Survival Time, bitch. We finna get into another nigga, but this nigga is actually supposed to be based on Nick Snowfall, Uncle Jerome. So we finna see what the fuck this nigga talking about.
Welcome to Hood War Stories. In this episode, I'll be discussing life of OG Puddin. Sylvester Scott was born on November 13th, 1954, in Los Angeles, California, where him and his family resided on 115th Street between Compton Avenue and Wilmington, in very close proximity to the Nickerson Gardens, a current bounty hunter Watts gang stronghold. In 1972, the Scott family would relocate to Compton, where they lived in a single-story home on Pyru Street, off Parmalee Avenue. In the early 1970s, the Crips evolved into the East Side Crips and the West Side Crips, and later the Compton Crips. The sets would arrange rumbles with foes. The fights were hand-to-hand at first, which Raymond Washington preferred, but intensified to include the use of bats, chains, and knives. Meanwhile, Crips continued to claim new neighborhoods in Compton. This was at a time Compton was over 90% black. Raymond Washington, Tookie Williams, and Michael Conception began victimizing students attending neighboring Centennial High School. Within a short period of time, they gained a significant following. But when Raymond, Tookie, and a small group of followers attacked Puddin and Vincent Owen, it set off a significant chain of events. Puddin and Vincent, who both lived on Pyru Street, refused to be victimized and fought off the attack. At the end of the confrontation, someone could be heard saying, "Don't mess with nobody from Pyru Street, and take that Crip nigga with you." Puddin would create the Pyru Street Boys and claim the turf around Compton's West Pyru Street, which intersected at Central Avenue, just north of 136.
I don't think a lot of niggas know this, but that is how niggas is paying attention to this from all the videos and shit. Niggas really started the Bloods just to go against the Crips. All of this shit was just the anti-Crip movement. That's why all these streets be named after these niggas' blood movement. So when they started talking about Lewis Park and all them areas, that's where they from, but that's where they basing their gang on, but that's where they basing their enemies at. But a lot of these niggas beef with each other because of the internal bullshit they be.
Puddin was described as a scrawny kid at the time, who enjoyed throwing the football around. The Pyrus were originally associated with the Crips, but split off after a few internal battles. Because the Crips heavily outnumbered the Pyrus, Puddin had to string together smaller black sets that bordered the areas near Willowbrook. They eventually became the Bloods and adopted the color red. Usually when a gang is vastly outnumbered, they have to be extra out with the violence. So at that time required the Pyrus to up their firepower. And to be able to afford this artillery, they had to imitate the Crips by getting involved in the drug game. Puddin was a teen nobody wanted to mess with. He evolved into not only one of the biggest drug traffickers in Compton, but the head honcho of his most violent gang as well.
This nigga's a fucking teenager, bro. With a full fucking beard, G. The fuck out my face. This nigga like Barry White. This nigga look like Shannon Sharp now. This nigga 18, 16, something like that. What the fuck? He look like a grizzly bear.
Puddin wasn't known as a fighter. He would gain his notoriety on what he did when he had a gun in his hands. As the leader, he set the tone and created an atmosphere of intimidation. All the Pyrus followed suit. Puddin single-handedly attacked every last Crip set in Compton. The real war in Compton kicked off in 1972. When Puddin and a few Pyrus opened fire on the Crips, the quadruple shooting left one dead. Puddin had a massive target on his back as Compton's most wanted because all the Crips wanted him dead. But Puddin was very elusive. He would strategically keep switching vehicles after he carried out a series of attacks. Over time, his name began having a mystical aura attached to it, and people were beginning to think he was untouchable. Puddin would venture into the east side of Compton and shoot up the Red House on numerous occasions. The Red House was a notable home located on Pine Street that Tookie and the Crips would frequent. Puddin had a hit list and wanted all the top Crips to get it. He eventually got Tookie. One day on Almond Street, Puddin ambushed and shot at Tookie with a .45. Tookie dove for cover behind a house, but he wound up getting hit in the legs. He was bedridden for a while and had a hard time recovering. When Tam was killed by Crips in 1975, this set Puddin into a frenzy. Tam was like a brother to Puddin. Puddin would go on a rampage and wanted all the Crips to feel it. Crips were getting shot in the legs, ass, ankle, and feet. In one attack, the bullet grazed the Crip's head and sent his cap flying. He was hysterical after almost being killed by Puddin. During his terror spree, multiple Crip points would be hit on the same night. It got to a point whenever Puddin came around, Crips would run the other way.
And you had to be careful of that one person Puddin, man, because he had a green 69 Riviera. Ever we seen a green 69 Riviera, we would run behind a building, whatever, because we didn't know if that was Puddin or not.
And Puddin would carry out these missions by himself. His precision was outstanding. He had a reputation for always hitting his target, even shooting from...
I'm sorry, but the biggest nigga is, if he ain't knocking niggas out, he kind of pissed me off with that shit. But shit, he's smoking shit, I guess. But it's killing me that these niggas is running from him. First of all, you should be prepared for this nigga to be coming for you. And especially, second of all, you already know this nigga coming. So why would y'all not already be strapped? And this is around the time when niggas is already heavy in the drug movement. They supposed to be getting money. They just said they was getting their guns up and getting their funds up because the Crips already had their guns. Fuck you talking about? These niggas is retarded.
30 yards away. Puddin would end up going to prison for a rape charge. When he got out of prison, he was no longer that scrawny kid. He got swole up and muscular.
What the fuck? Oh, god damn. He went to jail for rape, G? That's crazy. Okay, we gonna just...
In the late 70s, the Black Panthers had moved into South Central from their base in Oakland and began recruiting among the gangs in the area. They had some success, and their next play was to move into Compton. At that time, the Compton Police Department viewed the Black Panthers as a threat, seeing as the Panthers had success uniting a few gangs in South Central. The idea of gangs in Compton merging into one super gang would have made it virtually impossible for Compton PD to maintain control of the city. Their force only had 130 cops at the time. To combat the threat, Compton PD would have had to resort to bringing the National Guard. So a few officers from Compton PD and Puddin made a deal that if the Pyrus kept the Panthers out of Compton, they would back off Puddin in his drug trade operation. The deal worked, and the Panthers were never able to get a foothold in Compton. In 1987, Puddin would be arrested and later convicted of selling cocaine.
God damn, he a bitch ass nigga like that. He just really stopped the betterment of his society and movement in his community. This is what the fuck I be talking about. Like, niggas be dragging niggas down and don't even notice it. All of this secretive shit that be going on back in the days, these bitch ass niggas be feeling the future, bro. Cause these niggas don't be realizing what they really be doing. All these money hungry ass niggas, that don't make no fucking sense. These niggas was actually trying to put this nigga in a better light, and this bitch ass nigga actually stopped something that could have actually been something serious.
An undercover police officer. He would serve his time in the Chino State Prison. In 1991, Puddin and more than a dozen other drug dealers testified against 6 LA narcotic officers accused of beating drug dealers, stealing money from some of them, and planting cocaine on others. According to federal prosecutors, the narcotics officers planted a plastic bag containing 118 grams of cocaine in Puddin's car and arrested him on drug charges. Puddin told the FBI and the grand jury that $16,000 that he kept in a paper bag was missing after deputies searched his mother's home, though he said he never reported the theft because the cash came from drug sales. When Puddin got out of prison, he got into a relationship with Joelle, also known as the First Lady of Death Row. Things were hot and heavy at first, but they eventually went through a rough patch that reached a boiling point when Joelle shot Puddin in the chest. Joelle would claim self-defense, saying that Puddin was physically abusing her and was jealous of her success with Death Row, but others seem to think her statement was slightly fabricated.
For everybody who don't know the fuck Joelle is the bitch that's on singing on Bitches Ain't Shit But Hoes and Trick. And she's like, I don't give a fuck. And that's her. She also singing on some Tupac songs. Damn, I ain't know she was like that though. But she is from Compton. And she do got some long ass nails, bro. If you ever see a bitch with long ass nails, nigga, they rough, nigga. These bitches be rough when they got long ass nails. Hey, them be the dangerous ones.
As Puddin was known to be a ladies' man, and he was constantly dealing with various women, which could have been a motive to initiate a domestic issue. Puddin was described as rocking a full afro, intelligent, and clean-cut features. He could have gone to a university, but instead he was among the most dangerous criminals, and arguably the most dangerous city in America at the time. In 2006, Puddin would die of health complications, stemming from his gunshot wound in the 90s. He was 51 years old. Puddin was set the blueprint and made the Pyrus what it is today.
I'm gonna stop right there. We're gonna leave it at that. But so basically, she killed that nigga and don't even know it. Probably ain't even realize the shit. That's crazy. But his real gunshot wound is really from her. His only gunshot wound really from her. So ain't nobody really get to this nigga but his bitch. Y'all niggas need to be cautious on like being in these toxic relationships, bro. Y'all let me know what the fuck y'all think in this damn description, bro. In this comments, bro. I'm gonna leave this link in the description, bro. But that shit funny as fuck. All them niggas hunting this nigga down, and his and the bitches he's dating is the one that kills him in the end in the long run. Then he died of health complications from the wound that he got shot from dealing with her. Like that's the ultimate situation. Like that's like the ultimate like end of the story. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna leave this link in the description. I'm gone.
Hey, gotta know your purpose, understand what worth is. This next is lurking.